Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today we will continue building financial model for a Uber Lyft taxi business idea, and today we will be focusing on fixed costs. So we may inside our project we may have some costs that are they may have some seasonality, but still they are fixed. And today we will be building a block of inputs for these types of expenses. I will show you how you can implement this block of inputs. I hope you will enjoy this video. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video I will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials, and when I finish this model I will place all the links on tutorials in the description of this video as well, so you may watch them absolutely free one by one. So now let's I will walk you through the model, what we already did during previous tutorials. So first of all, we created a library, let's name it so, for different types of trips. So here are the types of trips. Here is the mileage for each type of trip. Here is the duration of each type of trip, revenue per trip, and here we can switch on and off different types of trips from our calculations. We will need this option many steps ahead when we will be building different scenarios. We will be able to quickly see how this or that type of trip affects the cash flow statement, the simple discounted payback period. So for scenario analysis we also have local and global coefficients for mileage, for duration of trips, for revenues. So all these instruments we will need them during scenario analysis, sensitivity analysis, so all that will be needed there. Then we created the portraits in terms of amounts of trips for typical week. So here we have the day of the week. Here we specify the amount of trips per day. Here we can increase or decrease these values. We can switch on and off this or that type of trip from calculations. And here we have the tables of inputs for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So we have a typical week, and we can create the portrait for each day of the week, amount of trips that we make. Here we can switch on and off each day of the week, particularly from our calculations, and see what will be the simple discounted payback period if we work only weekends, if we work from Monday till Friday. Here we have global coefficients for the amount of trips for each day of the week, and we also have some we can specify the limits for daily mileage and daily amount of hours behind the steering wheel, to make us be able to live in the world of realistic numbers. Then we specify when we start operating activity, year and month. Then we are building the interface where we are specifying how fast we are reaching the target revenues. Then we start talking about the car we are buying and when we will be selling it. So here we specify when we are gonna sell this car, what will be the mileage on the odometer when we will be selling this car as a used car. This is the price for a new car. This is the price for the car that we will be selling when it becomes old. This is the down payment for the loan, this is the interest rate for the loan, this is the term of the loan. Here we can specify what type of financing we're using, own funds or a loan. Then we start describing the periodic dealership maintenance. So here is the odometer number, the mileage, and here is the cost of periodic dealership maintenance. We have coefficients for dealership maintenance to increase and decrease this value for scenario play, and we also have coefficient for parts costs. So here are the months of operating activity of the car, and this is the monthly costs if we need to buy some parts for the car. So what is next? What is next? Then we created the block for primary investment plan. So this is the moment when we start the operating activity, and before this moment we can specify what we are investing in and when we are investing in and how much. So we have, let's assume that we have 3 months investment stage, and during these 3 months period we can specify what we are investing in and when. So now let's move to fixed costs. So let's create a new block of inputs, fixed costs. So here I will be using, we will be looking at typical year. So this will be a new block of input. Here we will place fixed cost item. So here on the left we will have the list of fixed cost items. And this is the area for inputs for fixed costs. And all these cells are inputs, so I'm coloring these cells with blue because they are inputs. Like these are the inputs, these are the inputs. So we have a rule through the whole financial model that blue color is the color of inputs, like this, like this. So when we will be creating scenarios, we'll be playing only with cells, because all other cells are automatic.
We have formulas inside.
And if we look at fixed costs, the interesting thing is that some of them have some seasonality. So for example, so these fixed costs may look like this, fixed cost item. This fixed cost may have, for example, we may have this expense in winter. So you have to think about your business idea, and even if these costs are fixed, they may have some algorithm inside the typical year. So for example, this cost may be paid, for example, once in a quarter. these costs may be paid only once a year, for example. These costs, for example, may be paid, for example, only in February, April, for example, and October. And for example, these costs may be paid on regular basis, like this, for example. So all these costs are fixed, but they have some different algorithms that we need to put inside the model, because these costs, for example, may affect the model and create operating losses, and you'll have to finance these losses from your pocket, and this may increase the amount of financing that you need to start your business idea. That's why you have to think about your business idea and define fixed costs and what specific algorithms do all the fixed cost items have. So I just show you the example of different types of fixed costs. All of them are called fixed, but some of them have regular values, some of them have seasonal values, some of them are paid, for example, quarterly or once a year, but all of them are fixed because they have the same value yearly. But inside the year, the algorithm may differ. So that's why think of your costs to identify the fixed costs first of all, and how these fixed costs are being allocated inside the typical year. So then we will create a local coefficients for different types of costs. So this will be local coefficient. Then we will have global coefficient. So for global coefficient, I will do this. And for example, I would like to have the ability to switch on and off different fixed cost items from calculations for scenario analysis. I will be using just say data validation list. Let's go up. Here we have on and off menu. We can link this menu. So now let's create formula for this cell. So if this value equals to on, I will put 1, otherwise 0. So if I would like to switch off some costs from calculations, I can do this. And now I need to put these costs inside the so let's name this typical year. So now let's create the timeline for fixed costs. So this will be fixed costs step 1. Here I will put the list of fixed costs. So what I will do now, I will take this value, multiply it on this coefficient, then I will multiply it on this coefficient. I'm freezing the cell completely, and I'm multiplying on this coefficient. Here I'm freezing only the column. Now I'm pressing enter. Now I'm gonna extrapolate this formula to the bottom, then to the right. Now I'm gonna copy this formula. Now let's extrapolate it. So what we are fighting for, so for example I would like to increase the fixed cost on 30%, or take for example 70% of base values, or for example I would like to switch off these expenses completely, or I would like to take for example 100%, 140% of these costs, increase these costs and decrease these costs, for example, and take 30% for example from base values of these costs. So here we can play with these coefficients the way we want without working with these actual values. So all that will be needed later during scenario analysis. And now let's crop these expenses and make them start with the moment when we have the first revenues, when we have the start of operating activity. Now let's copy this table. So this will be fixed costs dollar per month. So what I will do now, I will take this value and multiply it. I will go to the timeline that we created many steps before. So here is the timeline, and here we have operating activity start 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 0 means that we don't have an operating activity at this moment, and 1 means that we do have an operating activity at any given moment. So we can, so June 2023, here we have the operating activity start. So we are taking this value and multiplying on this line. Then we add a $sign here, freezing the line. Then I press enter, and now we will crop the fixed cost timeline. So here you can see how fixed costs are starting from June 23. So now we're gonna color these cells with red because they will go to the cash flow statement. They are expenses. So we can, for example, what we can do, we can, for example, increase fixed cost, let's say 3 times. They will start from June. For example, we would like to displace our project and start in August. So we can just go here, select the August, everything changed. So here we have our fixed cost starting from August. If we want to switch off these expenses, we can just go here, switch them off, and they will disappear from here. As you can see, this makes our process of stress testing and the process of scenario building, this eases our exercise. So that's why the system of coefficient helps business owner, future business owner, better understand his or her business idea. So that's why I decided to show you this stuff. I hope you enjoy it. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials, and when I finish this model I will give all the links in the description of this video as well, so you may watch all the tutorials from scratch one by one for free. So thank you guys for watching, see you next videos, thank you and bye.